Welcome to Same Spit, Different Face TV. Well, my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast, and it's free. So don't forget to spit on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification. If you clicked on this video to hear about 50 Cent and Joe Budden, I need you to hit the like button. If you clicked on this video to hear about Rick Ross and Rick Ross beef, I need you to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Now, Spit Squad. Let's start off with the situation with Rick Ross and Rick Ross, the drug kingpin from LA. For the purpose of this story, I will say Rick Ross from Miami or Rick Ross rapper, and then I'll say Rick Ross LA. That'll be able, hopefully, if you're smart enough, you can distinguish between the two. So what essentially ended up happening, Rick Ross from LA was moving around in LA at some type of event. Somebody asked him about Rick Ross, and he basically ended up saying Rose sound like a gay name and all of this stuff, like a bunch of stuff that was disrespectful. So Miami Rick Ross ended up seeing that clip that was posted to Instagram, and he replied in the comment, "The gangster informant still lurks at Freeway Ricky. Go put on a suit, peon." And basically, that was a shot at him trying to call him old without calling him old, but also by him saying informant, that was a shot at that too. Basically, like, you should have on a suit because you sit on stands and stuff like that. Now, for the people who don't know the backstory to the Freeway Ricky Ross story, essentially, he got into the situation that he got into. He saw a chance to get some time shaved off, and he told on some cops. Now, a lot of people who in the street say, yo, telling is telling, whether you telling on cops, whether you telling on your guys or your homie. But also, it's some people in the streets who look at it, well, he didn't tell on no street guys. He didn't tell on nobody in his crew, nobody in his other crew. All he did was get rid of some dirty cops. Now, that sounds logical to a lot of people. Hey, the cops is dirty. Why not tell on them? Why not get you some time shaved off? You still keeping it real. But a lot of people will say that's not keeping it real. A lot of people will say that that's telling or snitching. I'll let y'all decide in the comments how y'all feel about that portion of the situation. And it's a lot of people who alleged aka gangsters, right? They would say, well, if the cops do you dirty, you supposed to do them like you would do somebody in the streets. But obviously we know that it'll be too much blowback if somebody does something to a cop. Once you do something to a cop, that changes everything around your area. That changes the way you get policed. That even changed the way the sergeant allowed him to police you. If you kill a cop, they coming to hit your hood. They cracking heads. They beating people up. They putting drugs on people. They just bringing people in for no reason. They shouldn't do it, but they'll do it if you kill a cop, and they'll be allowed to do it like that until they finally figure out who they can take down for basically getting rid of that cop. So that's the first story. Now, on this second one, we all know that Joe Budden and 50 Cent been going back and forth against each other ever since 50 Cent basically had his little back and forth with Big Meech and Lil Meech, and Joe Budden on his podcast said 50 Cent need therapy. Well, that boiled over, and 50 Cent has been going back and forth at Joe Budden mercilessly, and Joe Budden basically told him, hey, you can't just run around putting these AI up of people on there. And he was like, it don't matter to me because I'm making money off of it, but the minute I'm not making money off of it, I'll sue you. That's what Joe Budden paraphrasing, that's what Joe Budden said to 50 Cent. So 50 Cent replied to him and basically said, called him a punk and all this suing and all of that, right? But then we get to the point where 50 Cent just say, okay, if you're going to sue me for things that's not real, let me start using the real things you say because they're worse than anything else that can say. So 50 Cent end up posting a clip of Joe Budden on the podcast back when Marlon Roy was on there. And inside of the podcast, Joe Budden was talking about like, yo, real dog owners help pleasure their dog, something like that. And I'm paraphrasing, but you can go watch the clip. It's up on 50 Cent page, and that podcast is still up if you want to go see it. But 50 Cent says, wait a minute, Joe, you need therapy. Something is not right. You touch your pet extrally, masturbate so often, you need travel lube and sleepwalk naked outside of your home. You should have to register as an ex-offender. And so when we look at this, I promise you, I said that Joe shouldn't have responded to that. And I think Joe responded nice. Joe said, yo, you other peons, I'm still going to say and do what I want to do. But 50 Cent, that's not somebody I want to play with. And I'm paraphrasing, but he definitely said, yo, that ain't the beef I'm trying to have or none of that. I'm not trying to get into none of that with that guy. So I think I said that he shouldn't have responded to what 50 Cent said. He should have just let it swept under the rug because 50 Cent has a show that's coming on Saturday, Raising Kanan season 4. So he's going to do anything and say anything he need to say in order to get eyes on his page. So when he posting new show star Friday, check out Raising Kanan Friday, March 7, we lit, green like green gang, whatever he gonna post, he'll have maximum attention because people are actually coming to his page like, yo, what he say about Joe Budden? What he say now? What happened? But another reason why I feel like Joe shouldn't have said nothing about him, and I literally named this in my other video. I said the thing when Joe Budden's girlfriend sat down and said, yo, we got the travel lube and the travel lube is inside of the money bag. And, you know, me and Joe, we sit down together and his partner, girlfriend, lady, woman said, Joe pleasures himself while he watch other women, and I can't remember if she said watch her with other women, but she said he pleasures himself while looking at other women. And maybe it's just something they do in a strip club, but that puts you in the mind of a case that's going on right now. So it all sounds crazy. And then when you compound it with the thing that Joe said about his pet, and then you compound it with the clip about her saying he liked to watch people in masks. Obviously, hold on, and let me make this clear. It's consensual. The people who he watching know that he watching them and allow him to watch them whatever is going on. He pull out the loop, right? But that still compounds on it. And then you add it with the fact that, you know, he ended up sleepwalking outside of his apartment naked. It paints a crazier picture. So, in my personal opinion, Joe Budden won't reply to this. Joe Budden will hopefully let this die down, but maybe he'll try to reach out behind the scenes and maybe try to see if he can get 50 Cent to squash this and stop this, because it only does bad for Joe's career. And the bad part about it is that this isn't defamation, because these are all things that either Joe said or his girl said. So it's like public information. So he can't get them for defamation. If you want more updates about Joe Budden or 50 Cent, hit the subscribe button. If you want more updates about the rapper Rick Ross or LA Rick Ross, hit the subscribe button. And if you made it this far to the end of the video, hit the like button. Peace. Check out my original Chicago hood movie in the end screen, No Time to Play Fair. If you into sneakers, you a sneakerhead, you love seeing the new Jordans, Pumas, whatever it may be, subscribe to Kicking It with Fairplay 2333. If you trying to follow me on my basketball journey, my weightlifting and fitness journey, and also be inspired to get back on your fitness journey, subscribe to Fairplay, Flex, and Fadeaway. Also, any of these pages I just named, you can also find them on TikTok or Instagram.